This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me today is Ken D'Entremont. He is the CEO of Medexus Pharmaceuticals. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: MDP on the TSX Venture and PDDPF on the OTCQB. Ken, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to dig right in here. You know, this is the first time we're doing an interview together, so I'd love to get a quick overview and history of the company. So with that, floor is yours.
Sure. Yeah, Medexus is an amalgamation of three companies, actually, that happened about 17 months ago. We took two specialty pharma private companies, one in Canada, one in the US, and amalgamated it with another private public specialty pharma company, and put the three of them together. As a result, went from about 10 million in net revenue to 34 million last year. We just reported 74 in the past year, and we're well on our way to over 100 million net revenue.
All right, so I want to understand the story a little bit more, because it's so prior to these acquisitions, was that always the strategy of Medexus, that looking at various opportunities and adding it in, or did you just see something and you're like, okay, this is too good to pass up, let's bring this in-house?
Yeah, Medexus is one of the companies. Medexus, private Medexus, is a company that I founded, and it had been doing very well as a small Canadian rheumatology-focused specialty pharma company. Never had the opportunity really to find a good transaction to make it much bigger until a company that I knew well called Medex GmbH decided to sell their U.S. affiliate. It was at that point I said, hey, this is a good opportunity really to expand the business. And a friend of mine, Peter Pachetti from Goodwood Funds, assisted me in doing so and said, hey, you know, we got to roll this into a public vehicle. And that's when we went looking for the third company, which was the public vehicle called PDDPF. And we rolled all three companies together, changed the name to Medexus, and then went forward from there.
So can you tell us a little bit about some of the specialty pharma products that you are actually out there selling, and who's the target market? Is it just in Canada, or is it all North America, or even globally?
Yeah, it's North America. So we have a strong commercial footprint in both US and Canada. Our therapeutic focus is autoimmune disease or rheumatology, basically, mostly arthritis, plus a pediatric/allergy business in Canada, which was a legacy PDDPF business. So that's our therapeutic focus. We recently acquired another business, a US business, called Aptivo Biotherapeutics, and they had a hematology asset. So now we're focused on autoimmune disease, hematology in the US, autoimmune disease, allergy, pediatrics in Canada.
So then, what would you say makes the company and all your products unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
Well, they're all branded pharmaceuticals. So, I mean, all these products that we have got various forms of IP that protects them, patent coverage that will, you know, give us exclusivity for some period to come. So, you know, we're really focused on, you know, driving our brand awareness with physicians who will prescribe it to the appropriate patients, and, you know, developing our revenues through that channel. So we have full sales force, both US and Canada, calling on those targets that I described.
So my next question is, on June 22nd, 2020, which was Monday this week. We're actually recording this interview on Friday, June 26th, for everybody out there that's watching. And the company reported, and I quote, record revenue of 25.6 million and 4.2 million of adjusted EBITDA for the fourth quarter and fiscal 2020, end quote. So can you elaborate a little bit more on the company's operational highlights that led to these results?
Sure. It's two things, really. One, it's really strong organic growth. Existing portfolio grew at 27% this past quarter versus the same quarter a year ago. So excellent organic growth, plus the addition of IXINITY, which is a product that we purchased at the end of February. So we had 1 month of IXINITY sales in the previous quarter, and that contributed $9.5 million worth of revenue. So a real strong revenue growth, but our expenses have been basically flat. With the addition of Ixinity, we didn't add a lot of extra expenses. So as a result, the EBITDA was up dramatically. $4.2 million this past quarter versus basically zero the same quarter a year ago.
Got it. And I also have to ask, we're still in the middle of the pandemic. How has that impacted operations at Medexus?
Yeah, fortunately for us, most of our product portfolio is for chronic disease. So you think of rheumatoid arthritis, hemophilia B, seasonal allergies. These are all things that people continue to suffer from and aren't dependent on the healthcare system, such as hospitals or clinics or doctor visits to be delivered. So as a result, we continue to see growth even through this COVID period. And our expenses are down because obviously we don't have our sales force out in the field. We're all working from home, as you can see. Sales force is at home, so we're not spending as aggressively as we were before for growth. So actually, this COVID period, it'll allow us to show, what kind of a cash generating business we have. So I think that'll be interesting for investors.
I was going to say, have you, you're watching what's going on. You're seeing that there's sales are still happening, even during the pandemic. You don't have to spend that extra expense. Are these things that you start to think about once things do open up further?
Yeah, absolutely. You start to question how you operate your business, and why do we have big offices in 3 different cities for us: Toronto, Montreal, Chicago. So people have been very effective and efficient working from home. So it kind of makes you question that, and you spend money there. And then it makes you question how we go about promoting our products. Our reps have been quite productive through virtual means. So they've had to flip on a dime and do things completely differently because they don't have access to the physicians anymore through face-to-face contact. So our reps have done a really good job during this period reaching out and using different channels. And so obviously we're looking at all that too.
Got it. So and also, what's your background? How'd you come into all this?
Yeah, I guess I'm a serial entrepreneur. I grew up in big pharma. Always wanted to kind of have my own business. I'm a science background, but a business guy. I was always in the commercial side of big pharma. Opportunity came around to start my own thing, and I grabbed at it. And, was able to grow a pretty sizable private company, and now we've got a sizable public company. We're north of 100 million and growing strong, and expect to make it grow much stronger.
Absolutely. So, it's interesting. I just did an interview with another company that's also in specialty pharma in Canada. Totally different lines of business that they're selling. So you guys don't really compete on the same level. But it's interesting to hear, going back to the sales process, how they've also experienced that same change. And because most of the sales was direct to physician when they go into the offices and everything, and just being able to see that change and seeing the response, and that they're still able to get them on the phone and show them the product and really get after it.
Yeah, it's all about content, much like your business. If you've got good content, people pay attention. So we've been really focused on producing good content that physicians are interested in. For example, one of our products is an antihistamine, which obviously, in seasonal allergies, you get stuffed up, your eyes water, and some of these symptoms are kind of confusing with COVID. So, one of the questions physicians are constantly getting is this COVID? Am I suffering from regular seasonal allergies or COVID? So we ran a program that helped the physicians differentiate between the two, and the response was tremendous. We had a huge response to that, big doctor numbers.
Got it. So so then, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's growth drivers moving forward? And addendum to this question, you've made a few acquisitions now in the last 17 months. Is that still some of the plans going forward to grow the business?
Yeah, totally. So, continue strong organic growth. That's what we do. We've got full commercial infrastructure, both countries, so we'll continue to use that. But then further leverage that infrastructure by adding more products. Well, whether that be through licensing or through M&A, either channel is available to us. We would expect in the next, couple of quarters that we would do more licensing. We've used the cash that we had to purchase Xfinity, and now we have a bunch of licensing deals that we're working on. So we fully expect in the coming quarters that we'll be announcing some new licensing deals that will be further accretive to our business, in the therapeutic areas where we already participate, which means that, it really leverages our infrastructure.
And with that, where can my audience go and find everything they need to know about Medexus?
Well, I guess a good place to start would be Medexus.com. There are 4 analysts that cover us, Mackie, Canaccord, Genuity, Bloom Burton, and GMP Stifel. So those analysts are out there. I'm sure they can find information from them.
Ken, thank you again for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. I wish you guys the best of luck. Stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.